Fantastic Beasts 4 in Japan? Welcome back to the channel, guys. A few days ago, Warner Brothers hosted a big Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore fan event in Japan, and we got to talk about it. As there was one line said by producer David Heyman that is very interesting. And at the end of the video, we will talk about the 2 brand new TV spots that feature new dialogue. But before we begin, if you're a big fan of Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and all things Wizarding World, make sure you subscribe. I know lately I've been very busy in Middle-earth, but I'll always come back to Hogwarts. But yeah, Fantastic Beasts 4 in Japan. Producer for all 8 Harry Potter movies and the 3 Fantastic Beasts films, David Heyman, appeared at this event on a pre-recorded message for the fans. He told them how much he loves the country of Japan. He mentioned that his family have been there many times. And one fan asked him if Newt Scamander would ever go to Japan. And this is what David Heyman had to say. Well, we haven't yet started writing the next film, so we have to see. If I had my way, we'll definitely be going to Japan. So this does not confirm we're going to Japan, but David Heyman has a lot of pull behind the scenes. He's always been very close to J.K. Rowling. He is one of the pillars of the Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts movie franchise. But take this with a grain of salt. There's no denying his love for Japan, but he was definitely playing up to the crowd, because this event was definitely trying to push the Japanese market. And who says J.K. Rowling has plans on writing Japan into the 2 remaining films? But I, for one, would love to visit the Wizarding World version of the country. And from a business perspective, it makes total sense, because Harry Potter is huge over there. But unfortunately, no new footage was shown at this event, and I was very surprised by that. It was the perfect opportunity to show off something new, because fans are dying for a second trailer. Almost every other day I get someone in the comments asking me when the second trailer is coming out. And I do think it is going to drop soon, either before the end of this month or early March. And like I've told you guys many times, it was reported that the campaign for Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore, was going to be a short marketing campaign. But I think it's time to get their asses into gear and kickstart this off ASAP, because there's no secret the 3rd film needs to make every dollar it can get. I do think it will perform well at the box office, but it has to exceed The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is currently the lowest grossing of all the Harry Potter movies, and Fantastic Beasts. I think The Secrets of Dumbledore has to make more money to guarantee a 4th and 5th film, which David Heyman says is not written yet. Whereas J.K. Rowling already started work on the 3rd screenplay before Crimes of Grindelwald even dropped in cinemas. But that screenplay she had to go back and rework after the reception from Crimes of Grindelwald. But I think when David Heyman says we haven't written the film yet, I don't think that means J.K. Rowling hasn't done her side of the work. She might have a rough draft of the screenplay or a rough outline or something. Perhaps they're waiting for Film 3's reception and for the filmmakers to have their input, because it's not just a one-woman story. This is a collaborative effort between J.K. Rowling and the Fantastic Beasts filmmakers. She writes the screenplay, she gives it to the filmmakers, to David Heyman, David Yates, Steve Kloves, whoever, and some stuff is changed. Everything she writes doesn't make it on screen. But going back to the 4th film being set in Japan, I think it is a possibility, if it makes sense for the story. I don't want them to start going to places just to appeal to the box office in that country, even though I imagine that is a big factor. I think it'd be a wonderful place to visit, as it's very different than the UK, New York or Paris, the 3 locations we've been to so far, and even the new locations of Berlin, China and Bhutan. Japan has its own appeal, as do all these countries. If I had my way, we would go all over the world, but of course that's not possible in a 5-movie series. But Japan, there's something about Japan that pulls me in. Their culture is just so fascinating, and there is a wizarding school there. I believe it's pronounced Mahoto Koro, and fans are dying to see each of the 11 wizarding schools all over the world. And we can argue they've missed out on the opportunity to show these schools off. We never went to Ilvermorny, the American school, or Beauxbatons, the French school. However, we could argue there was no time to visit these schools, as they weren't part of the story. Fantastic Beasts is not about a boarding school. It's not about students. It's about adults in a global wizarding war. We only really have 2 hours to 2.5 hours. There's no time to deviate from the main story or its subplots during a movie. But that's where a TV show comes in, where you could spend 8 to 10 episodes per country, or whatever. The Wizarding World is vast, and most of it is unexplored outside of Britain. The movies only touched upon the American and French cultures, and I think that's going to be the same for the new locations, for Bhutan, China, and Germany. They are just the tip of the iceberg, but if they ever do Harry Potter TV shows, which they will do one day, we could go back and do it justice, all over the world. And Japan has always been high up on my Harry Potter wish list of countries to visit. But if we do go to Japan or any other of these countries, I want a reason for Newt, Dumbledore and Grindelwald to go there. And if we take Japan as the example, obviously we could say Newt goes after some Japanese beast, we could say that Dumbledore is a visiting professor to the school, or maybe Grindelwald flees there after the events of the third movie, and raises an army in Japan. And that ties into the whole World War II element of the story, which of course would bring Newt, Dumbledore and everyone else to the country. And I think option 3 is most likely, and if I think about it, I could totally see it happening. But for now, it's just speculation. There's no guarantee David Heyman will get his way, but I think Japan is high up on the list of possibilities. But for now, make sure you post your thoughts on Fantastic Beasts 4 going to Japan, as one of the main locations, or perhaps one of many, just like Secrets of Dumbledore. But yeah, I promised you guys the 2 new TV spots. Can't show them here, but I'm sure you guys will find them, and if you follow me on Twitter, I can send you right to them. Right now we have 2 new TV spots, but they have exactly the same footage as the trailer. Nothing new, apart from the dialogue. Each TV spot has one new line. The first one, a character says, "There's nothing you can do, Dumbledore." And the second, "There's nothing you can do to stop me." And I think both pieces of dialogue are spoken by Gellert Grindelwald, played by Mads Mikkelsen. And I actually think they are from the same conversation, to Albus Dumbledore. I think both lines have been edited, and this is the full sentence. "There's nothing you can do to stop me, Dumbledore." And I think this makes sense because trailers cut, copy and paste dialogue and footage all the time. And it does sound like it's been edited. And I don't think 2 very similar lines would be spoken twice by the same character. And I think it's possible this audio might actually be part of trailer 2, which I believe will be more focused on Gellert Grindelwald. But this is just me speculating, and I think I've rambled enough, so I'm going to call it off for today. I do apologise if it's a bit noisy. We're currently getting hammered by Storm Dudley. Yep, Storm Dudley Dursley is currently hammering the UK, and it's very windy, so I apologise for that. And I apologise for 2 very noisy cats outside as well. But what can you do? So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you soon.